Welcome to the Sentimental Twist,
where two generations share one love for meaningful spaces and gracious hospitality.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Melissa.
Let's gather around the table and talk home, hosting, and all things sentimental.
Yay!
It's episode 4, season 3.
Yes! So good to see you.
Yes.
Today is March the 19th?
Yes.
Is that
Sounds
right?
right. Yes, Thursday the 19th. Okay, so spring is like a couple of days away.
Yeah. So welcome to season 3, episode 4 of the Sentimental Twist podcast. I'm Melissa. You can find me at Home with a Twist on Instagram. HomeWithATwist.com is my website, and Home with a Twist on YouTube.
Yes, and I'm Brittany Shepherd. You can find me at Brittany Shepherd on Instagram. I am the sentimentaldecorator.com for my website, and my YouTube is Brittany Shepherd TSD. So find us there.
You want to hear what I've got? You want to hear what I've got planned?
Yes, I do.
I'm having a wine and Girl Scout cookie pairing party.
Ooh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Girl Scout cookies, and who doesn't
Right.
love wine?
Yeah. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
It's not Thin Mints.
Mine either.
They have I like the lemon one that they do. And then they also have a new one that's kind of like a brownie cookie with caramel on the top. I have to say, I'm not like a huge fan of Girl Scout cookies because obviously they're not, it's really more the nostalgia of it.
And there's only like 15 in a box.
I don't think they're really that good, but it's just, who doesn't love a Girl Scout cookie?
Right.
So what I'm doing is I did Google Girl Scout cookie and wine pairing, and I found some websites that kind of give you some starter, some inspiration. So I'm asking everybody to bring their favorite Merlot or like whatever is out there for people who are wine enthusiasts, a sparkling wine, their favorite Merlot or Cab, maybe a Pinot Noir or a Pinot Grigio or whatever, Sauvignon Blanc. And then I'm just going to put out butcher paper with platters of the cookies and then the wine and glasses and just, and I'll probably have a few savory things like some red pepper hummus and maybe some cheese and sausages for people who maybe, kind of need to help balance the glucose intolerance.
Yeah.
And, but it's just going to be a fun little, like we talked about in the last episode, this is not going to be a big deal. It's just a couple of my neighbors and a couple of new friends that I've made, and very low key. We may play a game, but it's just a way to help. I supported my cute little Girl Scout in my neighborhood and having a way to catch up with friends now that the weather's getting a little nicer.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you up to?
I am counting down the days till spring break, and I am really just trying to work in the yard a little bit, get my containers pretty. That's usually the first thing I do besides the maintenance stuff. And it's warm enough here basically to do that. And, my favorite little local nurseries, Lowe's, they see a lot of me this time of year. So
yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk today about, first of all, I want to say that if you're a listener and you have not taken our survey, we would love for you to give us feedback on what you liked about seasons 1 and 2. What were some of your favorite topics that we talked about? That was Hazel. Just
she's so cute.
Hey, Hazel. Hi, Hazel. And you can find it on our Instagram page, which is the Sentimental Twist podcast on Instagram. If you link in the bio, I think it's the very first thing at the top, take our survey. Because we would love to know what you loved and what you want to hear more of. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is meal prep as a strategy for confident hosting. I listened to an episode of Awesome Etiquette by the Emily Post Institute. I've kind of started this fun little thing on my Instagram where it's Mind Your Manners Monday. And I pose a etiquette question people can answer. But they talked about meal prep as a strategy to help you host with ease and not chaos.
Yeah.
And I thought,
that's a good point.
What a great idea. Why hadn't I thought of that? I'm not a meal prepper. I know that you are. You plan your meals.
I do try to. Yeah. At least so that I'm not eating popcorn every night of the week.
Yeah. And my niece is every Sunday she preps for the week, like does all the chopping, assimilation.
Always do that.
Oh, she just does, because she's a 10-year-old Amelia's about ready to turn 11. And 6-year-old twin
Yeah.
boys and works full time.
Yeah.
So she just feels like that's the only way that she could do it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today as
Okay.
another strategy to help host with ease.
Okay.
So why advanced meal prep isn't just for chefs.
Mm.
That prepping does not mean your party will feel mechanical. It means you'll have more time with your people.
Mm.
So if you and that meal planning is not just for big parties or holiday dinners or for culinary pros, it's for anybody who wants to get ahead of the game. And I I can be a procrastinator
Me too.
and think, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow." And then tomorrow comes and I'm like, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow." And then before you know it, it's the day of the party. So, what it does when you try to plan in advance is it reduces stress, it deepens your presence preparing for your party. It reserves your hosting energy for what matters. So if you do a lot of these things in advance, the day of the party or day of the gathering, you're in the moment and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Mm.
It allows you to taste test.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
You know, one of my mother's biggest things that she taught me growing up is to never make a recipe
Right. Mhm.
that's not been tested.
Mhm.
Don't try a new recipe out on your guests
Yeah.
unless you just don't care. Like if it's girlfriends and they would give you
Mhm.
their honest opinion,
Honest
like this
feedback.
is terrible. But if you're trying to really get people together, don't test that crock pot meatloaf, which I'll tell you right now, that does not work. I've done it. It's awful. And the other thing that happens is that it also means that if something like if you bought an onion and by the time you go to cut it, it's not good, you still have several days before your party
That's a good
to
point.
go and get that ingredient. Or if your Walmart order didn't get fulfilled in
Mhm.
time, you've got everything.
Yeah.
And your kitchen is clean. That is one of my biggest hosting tips is a clean kitchen, an empty dishwasher. So what about you, Brittany?
Yeah. I like to prep ahead as much as I can, but I'm not like super stringent about it. It kind of depends on what we're having, what I can do ahead of time. If it's table stuff, it is. If it is chopping vegetables, if it's having kind of everything to throw together, if it's something that can be cooked ahead of time, I'm really on board for that. That just needs warming. So, one of the things that is really good about it is that if you're prepping, you can kind of elevate the experience and it supports you. Like you said, it reduces your stress. And then in turn, that allows you to feel calm and prepared and present, and your guests feel that. They don't feel like you're stressing. So there's a little bit of extra comfort for them, extra, feeling at home because they don't feel like they're in the way because you're doing the last minute little things. But when your food is ready early, you can focus on the experience itself. So setting the mood with music, arranging the flowers, lighting the candles, and you can also have a little time to prepare yourself. Like I think you've talked about that before, like making sure you have as much as you can ahead of time so that you have a moment to relax and refresh yourself before guests come. And so that makes your guests feel more at ease with your presence when you are less everywhere.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, there are 5 things that I say if you give yourself 15 minutes before the party starts,
mhm,
5 things: light a candle,
mhm.
spray air freshener,
Yep.
put on lipstick, put on music, and I just forgot the 5th thing. Oh, turn on lamps.
Oh, lamps. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
and
Lamp
if you
light.
can do all those things, and if you can just reserve yourself 15 minutes before the party at minimum, I
Mhm.
try to schedule an hour before the party for myself
Yeah.
so that I can maybe redo my hair, take a quick
Mhm.
cat nap. I
Yeah.
always try to implement a nap before I host a gathering. So that
Nice.
does require planning,
Yes, it does.
you know.
Does. But there are things you can prep ahead. And, as we share about these things, know that you do you, girl. You do you. If these are too crazy and out there for you, don't worry about it. Do what you want to do as it relates to what makes you comfortable, the logistics for your event, and how you want to engage in your own hosting and hospitality experience. Because I don't always do like major prep days ahead. I'm typically more of a casual hostess anyway.
And I think it depends on what you're cooking. If you're
Yes, it definitely depends on what
if
you're
you're
cooking.
making soup for friends that are coming
Mhm.
over, sometimes the smell of the cooking of the soup on the stove is part of the experience.
Yes, you're right.
But if you're I think we're talking about if you have, if this is maybe something that like if one of your barriers to hosting is that you work full time and you
Mhm.
don't possibly know how you're going to get all that done in one day, this is an
This is it.
example
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
how this technique and this strategy can
Mhm.
help you to relax
Mhm.
and break things down into smaller tasks.
Yes. And you have to plan ahead, you know what I'm saying? So, you have to kind of think through days before if there are things that you can do that'll make it easier on you the day of, especially if it's a weeknight or, even a weekend. But just if you're working full time, planning ahead to plan ahead is very helpful. So, like I said, take this and use these tips in a way that works for you.
Mhm.
But so some things that you can prep ahead, and I'm going to kind of categorize it out so that we can break each category down a little bit. But the shopping and organization, that obviously has to be done ahead of time. And we shared, I can't remember if it was season 1 or 2, but that article about Ina and how she'll days ahead start breaking everything down, and she was a little intense with her scheduling of her prep. But see if you can't find that article. I don't remember exactly. I have to look back in the show notes. But Anna says that her number one dinner party planning hack is prepping ahead. And so she inventories her pantry and her fridge days ahead, and she looks and sees what she might need as it relates to the menu she's hoping to plan, and then she minimizes like last minute runs to the grocery store because she's already knowing what's in her pantry and what she has on hand to use. And so she lists it out day by day and not by dish. So that's how she sort of organizes beforehand and gets things ready to shop and get all the ingredients that she needs. And then the day of, so that's the storage and organization in advance. So let's move on to the day of. Some things that you could do is go ahead and chop the vegetables earlier in the day and store them in an airtight container. I do this. This is if I'm having an event in the afternoon or evening that I know I'm going to have to chop for, I try to do that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just
You
because,
can do that while you're watching one of your favorite
yeah,
shows.
yeah, it's
It's
just, yeah,
mindless.
yes. Make any sauces, dressings, anything that you can make ahead of time, marinades. And of course, if you're marinating something, you got to make it ahead of time so that the protein has time to marinate.
Yeah.
So do that the day of, the morning of, if it's an evening event. If it's a brunch, you might have to do it the night before. And then assemble desserts and any layered casserole things. You can go ahead and make up your casseroles, put them in the oven on the right timing for when your guests start arriving and it's smelling lovely in your home, but you've already made it up. All you have to do is preheat the oven and put it in as it gets closer to the event to give you more time to be refreshed for yourself and to sort of fluff your home like we talked about just a minute ago. So that's things that you can do ahead of time. But you can also use your freezer and your fridge strategically. So this is another thing. Baked goods like rolls, breads, doughs, even some proteins, they freeze beautifully. One of the things my friends love when we make pork nachos, I know that's sort of casual and low key, but you
What?
can, yeah, pork nachos.
Okay, tell me what this is.
And all you do is you do a sheet pan of nacho chips, sprinkle the cooked pulled pork and then cheese in the oven, pull it out, and then you top it with whatever Alabama white sauce or your favorite barbecue sauce, scallions, love those little French fried onions,
Okay,
red
why have I never done this? This
pickled red
sounds
onions.
amazing. Do you have this written down somewhere?
I
Pork
don't think I have
nachos.
pork
Would you
nachos.
do you buy your pulled pork already at the store?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You can buy it ahead of time, but if you want to cook it, if you like buy a fundraiser Boston butt and go ahead and pull it and put it in the freezer, and then you're having company, you just thaw it out, warm it up. It that's one of the things that freezes really well is making the pork. If you make the pork ahead of time, or if you even buy from, because all our high schools sports teams, they do Boston butt fundraisers all the time. I don't know if y'all do that in y'all's area,
No, so when
but
you said that, I was like, that must be an Alabama thing 'cause
it must be
we don't have pork butt fundraisers,
fundraisers.
which
But
here's an interesting fact, is the pork is not from the butt, it's actually from the shoulder.
okay. That's good to know,
Yeah,
actually.
I learned that when I was in Seattle when I walked by a meat market.
I'm
It
pleased
said,
to know
"Did
that.
you know that pork butt is actually not a pig's butt? It's from the shoulder."
Well,
So,
that's
okay.
really good. But you can label those things, the date that you prepared it. I always make a pork roast at New Year's Day. I don't always. Somebody in my family does, or somebody in my group of friends. We always have pork on New Year's Day. And so there's always leftover of just cooked pork roast. Freeze it, put a date on it, and then use it in an entertaining situation. You don't even have to make the main part of the meal ahead of time if you're making the pork nachos, for example. So use your freezer, I can't talk, freezer and fridge strategically when you're thinking about planning ahead. And perhaps you do, you've got some time. You think about menus you like to serve. You've got a weekend where you want to be a homebody and maybe do some projects that are analog. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And maybe you have a day where you're just prepping proteins that you can pull out easily when you are having a party and an event that you can thaw them out the day before overnight and then throw together the casserole with the cooked shredded chicken that you've already made and frozen. Things like that you can think ahead. But
Yeah,
timing is your best friend. Wait,
let
what
me
you say?
I wanna add something that I like to do
Okay.
now that it's just me and Mr. Twist.
Mhm.
I used to make chocolate chip cookies and just make all the batter.
Right.
So now what I do is I get a cookie sheet, line it with waxed paper,
Mhm.
and I use a scoop, like
Mhm.
a measuring scoop,
Mhm.
like not an ice cream scoop, but a ball scoop,
Yeah.
cookie dough scoop, and I measure balls of cookie dough. I
Mhm.
pop it in the freezer because my freezer is one of those pull-out drawers,
Mhm.
so I can easily put a cookie sheet in there, freeze the cookie dough, and then I'll put the cookie dough in bags,
Mhm.
and then when I just wanna have a chocolate chip cookie,
Yep.
I'll bake that. And so that's a really simple dessert when
So
you
easy.
who doesn't want
I
a
do that all the
warm
time with
chocolate chip
cookies.
cookie?
As a
And you could
dessert.
even bake them for your party, and if you wanted to elevate it, you could make ice cream sandwiches,
Mhm.
and that is super easy.
Yeah. And it's
And then
impressive.
wrap them in plastic and put them in the freezer, and then when you're ready to serve so,
Mhm.
think outside of the box when you're prepping your own stuff
Mhm.
and, try to take steps to make things easier for yourself. So, I
Yeah.
just wanted to add that. Okay.
Yeah, agreed. So basically, what we're saying is timing is your best friend. If you can think ahead of time about the timing and the cadence before you have people over, what would be good for you to have done in advance? 3 days before, you're shopping, you're cleaning, and you're making dough if you make the dough from scratch. Not Brittany usually. 2 days ahead, you're making your sauces and pre assembling things. And then the day of or the day before, you're cooking things that reheat really well, and then the day of, you're putting your finishing touches on, you're setting the atmosphere, and you're just pulling it all together. So you can kind of organize and plan according to what you plan to serve and what's easiest for you to do in advance where you won't feel stressed. And so our encouragement is for you to take some of these ideas and think about what you can do, but don't worry about doing it perfectly with perfect precision. Just find what works for you, the rhythm that works for you when it comes to hosting so that you can enjoy the process, enjoy the company, and it not feel like this grand event like we talked about last time. We want it to be less performance and more relational. So the logistical things that you can get out of the way and think about in advance makes it a more enjoyable experience for you. So
Yeah, absolutely, and I do before we move on to the tools and tricks that we love, is I do wanna say this does require discipline,
yeah.
and for some of us, that may be a little hard, depending on what season we're in.
Mhm.
So what I wanna say is give it a try, because if one of your barriers to hosting is that everything is so overwhelming and you work full time and you don't know when you're going to have time to have people over, this is what we're saying is an option to try.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just try it. Try
Mhm.
planning ahead. Try writing everything down and see if that doesn't help address your barriers for why you can't seem to pull things together.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, the tools and tricks we love is I love airtight containers that stack. You can find those on Amazon. You can find them at Costco, not Trader Joe's, BJ's,
Mhm.
wherever your wholesale club is. There, I have them in my cupboard, and they're varying sizes and they're glass and they're perfect for leftovers too. They're
Mhm.
great to put your fruit in. Fruit
Mhm.
seems to last longer when it's not in that container and it's separated from other fruit. Clear labels, sheet pans for easy reheating. I love a good sheet pan.
Yeah.
And make voice memos for yourself or digital reminders or use your notes app on your phone.
Mhm.
I have, if you sign up for my emails, I have a free dinner party checklist. And I just shared this on my episode of the Hostess Journal that walks you through exactly all the things that we're talking about. I love Ina Garden's cookbook, Make It Ahead.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, so what, and this is actually a signed copy.
Ooh,
Look at that.
fancy.
Think I went to one of her talks when this book was published. She did her in the very beginning, it says, "What's the most common cooking problem that people write to us about? Can I make it ahead?" We all have the same dilemma. We want to entertain with ease. One of my greatest pleasures is cooking a wonderful meal for Jeffrey and my friends, but like everybody else, I have so much going on that it's hard to find a whole day to cook just for the fun of it. There are two things I like about cooking ahead. First, the task of making a three-course dinner over several days seems much less daunting and anxious making than cooking everything on the actual day of the party. Second, when surprises happen, they always do. I have time to fix them.
Mhm.
She said, if I'm making everything in advance, I'm relaxed because I have time to fix a problem or even change the menu. And one of the things that she realized when she wrote this cookbook is that I didn't want to just write recipes that were okay when they were made ahead. I wanted to write recipes that were actually better if they're
Better.
made ahead.
Mhm.
And we've all said that when we've eaten a bowl of spaghetti, we're like, gosh, this sauce is so
So much
much
better.
better because
Mhm.
all of the spices and the flavorings have had time to steep in itself. So,
Mhm.
this is a great cookbook
Yeah.
if you want to try to learn the skill of making things ahead. But one of the things you can do, and and I have talked about this, and it's something we practice on our social media and in our website, is romanticizing and ritualizing prep to make it joyful.
Yeah.
Play your favorite music or podcast while you're prepping. Sip a cocktail or mocktail that you're going to serve that night.
Mhm.
Invite a friend for a prep date. We always have those friends that want to help.
Mhm.
Say, hey, could you help me Wednesday night to come over and chop vegetables?
Mhm.
What a great time
What
to
a
be
fun idea.
together with your girlfriend. And then you also have time to set your table. And your flowers always look prettier the second or third day you've had them because they have a
Mhm.
chance to open.
Yeah.
So these are just all ideas and maybe paradigm shifts that we want you to consider so that hosting can be a joyful experience and that you go into it with calm and confidence and not chaos.
Yes. And refer back to, I think it was episode 1. If doing the work yourself, all of the cooking yourself is too intimidating, order out, babe. Order out. And then just add some little extra details and touches that make it personal.
And no one is going to judge you if you
Mhm.
didn't make the food. In fact, they're
Mhm.
probably going to be like, I didn't know you could get a gallon of soup, breadsticks, and salad. We need to get Olive Garden to
They're
be a
to sponsor.
sponsor because we have given them so
We
much
talk about them
business.
all the time.
And I'm gonna go to Olive Garden this week, I think, because
Yeah,
I'm
I was thinking I might order the soup for supper, you know?
gosh, dang it. Okay. All right. Okay. Moving
Oh,
on. Porch Talk
Porch Talk.
Speed Round. This is Brittany's favorite. This is where we fire off quick questions, share even quicker answers so that you can take a peek behind the screen door to see who we really are. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
You want to ask me the question? You always, or do you want me
I
to
know,
ask?
let's reverse it. Let's do it different.
You want me to ask you the questions?
No, no, you usually ask me first. Let me ask you first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Spring or summer?
Spring.
It's gonna be hard for me not to also say mine and wait for you to answer because 'cause I'm
Well, our answers are the same. We know we don't like summer because it's so dang hot.
Uh-huh. Oppressive.
I like summer to swim in my pool and to
Mm.
have my niece and nephews over because they're learning. Well, Amelia knows how to swim. She's a good fish and she's even diving in the water now. But
Mm.
my nephews really need to. This year is going to be the
They do.
summer.
Mhm.
They're going to be swimming by the end of the summer.
They
And
got a match.
last year, although I loved and adored my time in Maine, it cut into my pool time.
Yeah.
And I like to swim. I'm a swimmer. I try to
Mhm,
swim at least 3 or 4 times a week
mhm,
on some good music and my goggles and get in and get some good cardio without realizing I'm exercising.
mm,
So, definitely spring.
mhm. 'Kay. Farmer's market, stroll, or garden center wander? Wander. It's a hard one.
It is a hard one. I would say probably the garden center.
Mhm,
I don't know. I have this weird thing that happens when I go to, farmers markets is I really wonder, are the farmers really growing those vegetables,
mhm.
or are they going to a wholesaler and passing them off as their own? Is that bad?
I wonder that too, probably. With some. Some I could
And I also feel bad if I walk up, I don't know, this is just me, this is my hang up. If I walk up to someone's booth and I don't like or am not interested in their stuff, I feel
I
bad.
do too. I feel so bad, especially when they're standing there, like, wanting to, like, sell you something. I'm
Yes, let's
like,
close
"Oh."
the deal. Can you buy 3 peppers from me, please? And I'm like, "Oh." I
I'm the
like to
same
go
way.
to farmers markets because it's very romantic.
Yeah.
I'll get a good cup of coffee from usually there's a coffee vendor
Uh-huh.
and maybe like a sweet treat, but I'm pretty picky about my baked goods.
Mm.
This is making me sound like I'm not a nice person.
No, it doesn't. It's real.
Okay. I'm gonna hear what
No,
you have
I'm
to
the same
say.
way. No, you're a nice person because you feel bad about not buying something from the little farmer
It's the
guy.
same reason I don't like to go to people's garage sales, is I feel bad if I walk up and I don't like your things,
And you don't buy anything.
that I don't buy anything, and then I feel bad.
I
Oof.
get that. I totally get it. Okay. Summer walk or bleh, bleh. Summer walk I can't talk. Let me try again.
Sunrise.
Sunrise walk or golden hours sit?
Sick. Well, you know the answer to this one. I don't get up before the sun rises. Not anymore. I have earned the right to sleep until 10 or
Mm,
11 if I want
mhm,
to, and I have been known to do that. Don't
mhm,
judge.
mhm. I get
So, it would be golden hour sit.
Okay. What's a song that always gets you in a hosting mood?
Well, I don't know about a particular song, but I know a genre of songs
Mm,
would probably be something from the '70s.
okay.
You know, a good Donna Summer
Mm,
or let me look at my playlist. I have a Melissa's Porch Party playlist.
that's right.
Let me see if I can find a song from that. Let's see. And did you know that? Well, you probably do know this, but you can go into Spotify and it will, if you tell it what you're interested in, it'll create a thing for you, a
Mhm.
playlist. It's like if you want to do a dinner party. I Googled the other day retail store playlist. If I had my ideal, there's a Nancy Myers kitchen
Oh, that's
playlist.
probably a good playlist.
Okay.
Everything Nancy Myers
Well,
associated is
here's one. Engelbert Humperdinck's Quando, Quando, Quando.
that's good.
Now that gets me in a drinking a cocktail, spinning around my kitchen. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dancing in the moonlight. I don't know the rest of the words, but it sounds all right. I don't know.
This
Summer
might be the
Breeze.
second episode with Summer
Summer Breeze.
breeze
I think Summer Breeze is
makes me
actually
feel
the number
fine.
one yacht rock. Do you know what yacht rock
Okay, yes,
is?
I do know yacht
Okay.
rock.
I love yacht rock. So,
Okay,
that's
that's
kind of
good.
my genre.
Okay. Alright, if you could thrift one magical never-ending item, what would it be?
I wanna go to Goodwill and get the china that these women are finding complete sets of, like, Wedgwood china for $10.
Mhm.
I want that to be my golden unicorn.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
what is it, a magical unicorn
Yeah,
or
unicorn. Yeah, whatever, I don't know.
unicorn? They're not shopping at my Goodwill
Nope,
because my
not
Goodwill
letting
is
in.
skank.
And mine is too expensive these days.
Interesting. Yeah,
It's so
so
stupid.
mine would be complete sets of really nice china
I like that,
that they don't know what they're selling. Grandma
Mhm.
died and
Mhm.
everybody's dumping off grandma's things,
Mm.
and they don't realize that grandma's Wedgwood china is
Worth
highly collectible.
a lot.
Yeah, so that would be my one magical item I would
Okay.
want. All right, you
Alright, I'm
ready,
ready.
Miss Brittany? Let's
Ready.
go. Spring or summer?
Well, spring because it's so oppressively hot where we live. It's so hot.
When does
Ugh.
it get back? When is what is your like? Okay, I enjoy being outside in the summer until when?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, it ranges with us when our last cool snap is. Like, I remember one year it was actually 40s on May 5th, which is bizarre. But, by mid-April, usually it's warming up, but May definitely is usually pretty warm. But then again, some years it'll be cooler on
Some
Memorial Day,
summers
and you
have been
can't get in the pool.
yeah, some summers have been super rainy.
Yeah, it's kinda crazy, but, like, this time of year is ideal except for pollen. We have so
Oh,
much
yeah,
pollen.
that yellow pollen.
Pine pollen, yeah.
I can stay outside until end of June.
Yeah, that's probably about me too,
Once
yeah.
July 4th hits, I'm not happy anymore.
And it's not just that it's hot, it's pregnant with humidity. Like, it feels like you're when you come in from outside, you have taken a shower outside.
You're damp, and the
Yeah.
mosquitoes want to carry you away.
Yes.
And
So
I have tried every kind of mosquito thing. There is no one. And here's the
mhm.
reason that Mr. Twist says those mosquito things you can hang in your trees and stuff. Everybody in your neighborhood needs to agree to do it.
Oh, to
If
make
you're going to
make
spray
sense.
your yard with one of those mosquito programs, everybody in your neighborhood needs to spray.
Yeah.
Because if you're spraying but your neighbors aren't, the
Mhm.
mosquitoes are still going to come to your yard.
Yeah.
There needs to be like,
Yeah.
and there's just something about spraying yourself with mosquito spray. It just, you feel kind of grungy
I
and
don't like it.
chemically. And
Mhm.
anywho, we're making it sound like it's terrible, but it is. So, all
It
right.
can
Farmer's market stroll or garden center wanderer?
I'm the garden center gal. I love a farmer's market like you do. Like, I think it's such a fun and, like, you can get a bouquet of flowers and then you can get a jar of jam and then you can get some fresh veggies. But I too have I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy something from everybody and I feel bad when they make eye contact situation.
Oh, me too.
So that is it. But Anna and I have sort of a friendship tradition to sort of take a long Saturday and we garden center hop and kind of get our things together. And sometimes we go to another town and do it go to new places. Like, we've gone to Tallahassee, or we've been in transit from Nashville back down to South Alabama and stopped at some really good ones. And we fill the car up and it's just full of plants, if it's not already full of antiques and vintage. But so we usually try to make a day of it, or at least an afternoon, where we go to a few different, like, local and Lowe's and things like that. So that's why garden center
Yeah.
is fun.
Sunrise walk or golden hour sit?
You're going to be surprised because it is the golden hour sit, because I'm a morning gal, for sure.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy sitting outside in the evenings during the warmer months and watching the sunset. I don't have a bunch of the sky view from my patio facing west, but the sky, just the colors light up and it's beautiful. But especially at the beach, sitting on the beach at sunset and watching the sun drop below the horizon is such a cool experience if you've never done it, because it happens so fast.
Yeah.
It's, like, surprisingly fast that it drops below the water,
And it's
you
like
know?
an orange is dropping
Mhm.
into a sea of boiling water, you know?
Yes. It's so cool. So, yeah.
What's a song that always gets you in a hosting mood?
I cannot think of anything except for
Well, pull out
I
your Spotify.
well, I tell Siri I have Apple Music, but I tell her to play something I like, usually.
Yeah, and does she know, or is she
Mhm.
kinda
She
dumb?
does a pretty good job, and then a playlist that I put on a lot when I'm having people over, even for just casual meals, because it makes it feel fancy, I think I've talked about it before, the Jazz Fruits playlist, and it's just
Oh, I
like
think you have told me about that. Why is
yeah,
it called Jazz Fruits?
I have no idea, but there's, like, different jazz fruits. There's jazz fruits for this, jazz fruits for that. I don't know, maybe it's the company that puts the playlists together? I don't know, but that little playlist or album is really good because it's sort of low key jazz. It's not, and it's
Are you
good,
saying fruit as in, like,
like fruits and vegetables.
oranges?
Yeah,
Because 'Cause I'm
jazz.
putting in jazz oh, here it is, Jazz Fruits music.
Let me find a.
Crystal Blue Persuasion.
I don't know
Jazz
why
Fruits
it's called
music.
jazz fruits. Oh, it's an artist, I guess.
There's
This is the
jazz
one I do. Jazz fruits music. Smooth jazz music, instrumental jazz
Let's
songs
see
for
here
studying,
for
work,
studying.
relaxing, and coffee break.
Okay. Okay. All right. I could go for that. That's really nice background music for like as people are coming in and
Mhm,
getting a
mhm,
drink and
mhm.
while you're cutting vegetables and it's
Visiting.
very I love it.
But it's just fun because it feels fancy, but it's just so
Yeah.
fun. So
It sounds like a hotel lobby.
oh, yeah.
When you go into a really cool boutique lobby hotel
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
just like, and they've got their diffusers working where you want to buy the scent, the
Yeah,
white tea and all that.
love it. Ooh, speaking of white tea, I just got a white tea Puripod for my Pura, and it is, so good.
What brand is it?
I need to look.
'Cause I love white tea. I have that in my bathroom I think in my powder room. White tea, and then I think the other one is jasmine. It just smells so good when you walk
Oh,
by the counter.
I think it's the Pura brand.
Pure brand white tea? Okay.
Mhm.
Alright, one last one.
White tea number 1.
If you could thrift one magical, never-ending item, what would be your unicorn be?
Well, endless Bordello Panero cabbageware
No.
in all the colors. I love it, but it's so hard to thrift. You can't thrift it anymore because it's trendy again. And so it's so expensive and it's not gonna be in just a thrift store. And I
So
love all the
highly
colors. I mean, I
collectible,
only
highly
have green
collectible.
and I have a little bit of the pink Easter stuff. And I have a really cute, and I used it for St. Patrick's Day. It's a yellow cup and saucer set with four-leaf clovers on it. That's Bordello. But that's what my dream if I walked into a thrift store and I could just bring home Bordello Panera every time I went. So,
They, a lot of the stores are coming out with it. Like Hobby
yeah.
Lobby had the viral TikTok pet cottage, which wear either in green or pink,
Mhm.
and it's sold out.
Yeah. Target had
Um,
some last year.
well, Target has some new ones this
Oh,
year.
this year
Pink
too?
the
Mhm.
pink, which is, somebody said it looks like an areola, so they were not fond of the pink
Eek.
shade, but there's cream,
Okay. Okay, interesting.
and it's only $5 a plate, salad
Well,
plate.
see, like, I have such a hard time with buying
I know.
and not because I'm turn my nose up at it. It's
You
because
want the
it's like
real thing.
I want the real thing because the real thing is usually vintage. It's not a reproduction that is now also going to be accumulation of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So
Last year, I bought the green cabbage plates from Target.
I like them.
I kinda gave my, audience the chance to vote between ones I found at
Oh, I remember
Michael's
that. That was
and at
fun.
Target, and everybody liked the Target one better, I
Mhm.
think. I can't remember now, but
That was
okay.
fun.
So yours would be Bordello.
Yeah. Any
Okay.
Bordello. I love cabbageware, but I'd like all Bordello. So
Okay, we're moving on now.
oh, yeah, this is a fun
Yeah,
segment.
uh-huh.
So, it's called The Year of Whimsy. What is the Year of Whimsy? So, Real Simple Magazine has declared 2026 as the Year of Whimsy, which is basically things that we talk about all the time here on The Sentimental Twist. Simple habits that bring joy to your everyday life.
Yes.
So, it's a combo of all of the things that we talk about, really, to be perfectly
And who's
honest.
the queen
Mhm.
of bringing simple joys to everyday life? Somebody you love and I love. We read her books. Her
Alexandra,
Stoddard.
our favorite.
Yes.
So, I guess now it's trendy because Real Simple says it is,
Yeah,
even though they're basically timeless, traditional, and classic things that you can do to make your life. I think they listened to the Sentimental Twist
they
and
did.
decided that they were gonna use our
Make this
content.
a thing. Yeah, I know.
Yes. But everything from dopamine decorating, which we have mentioned before on the show, haven't we? We mentioned personality
But tell
decorating.
everybody what decorating.
Dopamine decorating is featuring bright colors and personal touches and pattern, things that just make you happy and boost your dopamine. And so
Mhm.
I guess it doesn't have to be bright colors, but typically dopamine decor is connected to bright colors and patterns. But if it makes you happy and personalized touches. And then the shift we mentioned a little bit earlier to analog activities and strategies that make your daily life feel cozier. So, how many times do we mention this on the Sentimental Twist, y'all? I'm
All the
just telling
time.
y'all how many times do we talk about rituals. And so, what you're looking for with this is small little bursts of joy and fun that'll make the most humdrum days a bit brighter.
Mhm.
And like I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure they listen to our podcasts. And anyway, I love whimsy. Okay. Whimsy is so fun to me, and
I
my
think your
mom was
middle
a
name is not Dawn, it's Whimsy.
well, there it Dawn was very whimsical, my
Yeah,
mama,
absolutely. So really
and
it
it
is.
is. My middle name is Whimsy because mama was she was like the most whimsical person. She loved Mary Englebright, which is super whimsical. She loved bright colors and patterns, and I don't know that I mean, I always love bright colors and patterns and things, but a lot of what she loved has rubbed off on me. Very whimsical art. Whimsy
Mackenzie
is just
Childs,
yeah, yeah,
the
exactly.
Courtly Check and all that. Yeah.
Yes. So, according to the Real Simple article, here's how we can work whimsy into our daily life. So, we're going to go kind of point by point that they mentioned in the article and kind of talk about it a little bit. But one, make every day a special occasion. And we truly do not have to expand on that because it's something we talk about a lot here. But everyday rituals, elevating every day, using your pretty china for a regular Tuesday night meal. Just make every day feel like a special occasion. I love this one. And I think about this, the second one, hit the rewind button is what they say in the article. But the writer of the article explained that this means like bringing back the things from your childhood or when you were younger to your adult life that you loved as a kid or a teenager. So her examples were like listening to the songs that her basketball team warmed up to while she's working out now, which I thought was super cute
Oh, how
because it gets her
cute.
pumped like it did before a basketball game when she was a teenager.
Yeah.
She mentioned like reading books that she loved as a teenager or watching favorite shows. And I think for me, I was thinking about what something nostalgic that I could hit the rewind button on. It has to do with scent because Clinique Happy was the it girl of my preteen and high school years. And so I still have a little bit of it. And when I spray or I wear Clinique Happy, I'm like, huh, I'm young again, and then also those classic Bath and Body Works, like cucumber melon, sweet pea, warm vanilla sugar. Like when Bath and Body Works really took off, I was a preteen, and those were the main three fragrances that we all wore. And then there was like coconut lime that I always wore in the
Mhm.
summertime.
Yeah.
So scent for me would be a rewind button. And then of
See,
course like
mine for scent would be Herbal Essences, shampoo.
shampoo. See, I
And
remember I have that too
yeah,
in
and
my
the
memory.
funny thing is that my hair was always oily, as most teenage girls' hair is, but my hair type never went with the
Mm.
fragrance that I wanted. I wanted so badly to wash my hair with strawberry herbal essence.
Yeah.
Because I had oily hair, I had to do the avocado.
Uh-huh.
What 14-year-old girl wants to wash her hair with avocado
I
scented shampoo?
I loved the strawberry one
The
too.
marketing was so off on that.
Mhm. It was. And
Okay,
the
anyway.
other hair fragrance, is the Aussie brand stuff.
Whatever
It's
happened to that
I mean,
family?
it's still around there, I think.
Remember
The
when they
3-Minute
used to
Miracle
do
leave-in conditioner or
yes,
whatever.
remember when they would do their advertisements and they were all in, like, towels wrapped around or
Mhm.
robes?
Mhm.
And it was when the couple, the founders, had young kids,
Yeah.
then those kids grew up and they got
Yep.
married and have kids, and I think they have now great-great-grandchildren, but I never see those ads anymore.
Yeah, the ads aren't there, but the brand still exists, like, the
Did the
stuff is still
couple
in Target
die?
and stuff, but that smell is very distinct, that the
Yes.
Aussie brand stuff is that smell. So I like this one, the rewind, the hit the rewind button. So y'all think about things from your youth, teenage years, young adulthood that remind you that you can bring into your everyday now to give you a little bit, a touch of nostalgia and a touch of joy. I think that's a good one. Like everything else in the article is stuff we talk about a lot, but that one was fun, even though we talk about nostalgia. I thought that was a really fun one that's applicable that we can do.
Yeah,
Um, step away from the screens is the next point,
so hard to do.
which is the analog concept. But basically, this is just planning time and or space, which was interesting in the article, completely tech free. So whether that means a baking day where you're only using recipes that are written down or in a cookbook and not referencing your phone or a laptop or an iPad for the recipe or an Alexa, or doing a craft project that is completely hands on and you're not referencing technology to do it. She even mentioned carving out a space in her home that is completely analog. So, like a small area that's just got games and books and no TV, no computers, no phone allowed in that room. So, that was interesting to me. But
Well, they say sleep experts that work on their whole business is sleep hygiene
Mhm.
says you should not have a television in your bedroom.
You're right.
And I'm so guilty of watching TV in bed.
I can't do it. I can't go to sleep if it's on. So,
So you're actually following the cues of what you're supposed
I've
to do
never I've never had a TV in my bedroom.
and you don't miss it.
Mm-mm.
Good for you.
Yeah. Um, okay, and then embrace dopamine decorating, which we talked about using color and joyful patterns, and I'd have to look back when we talked about personal decorating, that Better Homes and Gardens article. I think that was early in season 1 when we talked about personality decorating. Dopamine decorating and personality decorating are very similar concepts, but it's really just decorating with things that make you happy. And then I'm gonna add a little one to that as part of whimsy, but using seasonal style if you're decorating for the seasons or the holidays, sentimental things. A lot of my spring, Easter, etcetera decor has whimsy in it. It's a little bit whimsical. You got the bunnies and you got the eggs and you got the, you know, chicks and all the things. So that makes you feel a little bit, it might be a little bit kitschy, but I like kitsch,
You.
but just a little bit of whimsy into those seasonal things for your seasonal styling. So,
Yeah, and we're going to talk about in next episode how to set the Easter table with sentiment. So I'm
yes.
excited for you to share. I want you to do a lot of show and tell on that one.
Okay. I'll plan ahead.
Because I'm going to say again about our survey is that we asked our listeners to do a survey. Which, if you are interested in giving us feedback on seasons 1 and 2, what you loved and what you want to hear more of, is the majority of people are watching
Yep.
this podcast and not listening.
Mhm.
So they love the show and tell. The teachers that gave the answer the survey said the teacher in me is really liking it when you hold up things. So I want to see some of those sentimental Easter things.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to finish this up with just a couple of things. Break out of neutral.
Mm,
My mother loved color.
same. Mine too.
She always said to me when I would wear black, which I don't wear anymore, really. I find black to be too harsh.
Mm.
She's like, "Oh, honey, you just look so much better in color." And I know to some people that might be like, "Ooh, well, that was kind of rude of her," but she just loved color.
Mhm.
Her favorite lipstick was called Volcanic. It was like a corally red. She had
Mhm.
so many when after she passed away and I was going through her vanity, she had so many tubes of Volcanic Revlon lipstick. So one of the things that I did when she passed away, when I gave her eulogy, is I wore a lime green dress and my shoes were floral print.
Mhm.
And I just, I was like, I don't care that this is, I'm celebrating her life
Yeah.
and I'm celebrating her legacy. And I want her to she's going to be sitting at the back of the church,
Mhm.
delighting in everyone that was there. And I want her to see me in color. So
Yeah. I
break
didn't wear
out of
black to my
neutral.
mom's funeral either because she didn't
She didn't
she
like black
hardly wore
either.
black. She was a bright color gal,
Yeah.
so
What was your mom's favorite color?
yellow.
Yellow. My
Mhm.
mom's was purple.
Mm.
We buried her in a lavender dress.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mom had a pretty, sort of teal turquoise color dress that she
Ooh.
was buried in.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that we respected our mom's memories with what they loved.
Yeah.
So like I right now in my ladies' lounge, I'm so happy that I have these bright punch yellow, um, punch bowl yellow chairs that I
So
bought
cute.
at from Fort Worthy Affair, I think is who she is on Instagram. Give her a
Okay.
follow. It's Tracy Manning is her name.
Mm, fun.
So, break out of neutral, make something everyday epic. An example of that is infusing intentionality and creative flair into mundane routines, such as transforming your simple morning coffee into a mindful cinematic ritual,
Mhm.
taking a new route to work, or documenting small moments with artistic photography. Focus on gratitude and personal, creative, or physical challenge to turn ordinary days into extraordinary, memorable experiences.
Mhm. I love that.
And then the last one is plan play dates. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a play date for with someone else.
Mm,
It could be a play date for yourself. Like when was the last time you just took yourself to the zoo
yeah.
or to a botanic garden?
Yeah.
and you maybe grab a bottle of maybe you don't want to drink and drive, but if you were going with someone else and they were going to drive, you could get a bottle of bubbly, but like a really crispy Diet Coke
Oh.
at McDonald's.
Mhm.
And for me, if I stopped at McDonald's and did that, I would have to get a filet of fish sandwich
That's so funny.
and some fries and just go to your favorite garden
Mhm.
and sit, put out a blanket and take a book and
Yep.
enjoy yourself.
I love that.
Or take yourself to go get a pedicure
Mhm.
and then treat yourself to ice cream. Take yourself on a date. When was the last
Yeah.
time you took yourself on a date and you went to a matinee and you
Yeah.
got a big bucket of popcorn?
I love that.
When? When do we
I
ever
haven't
do
done it in a
we're
long time.
always doing it for other people, but we never do
Yeah.
the play dates for ourselves. We plan play dates for our kids.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
um,
you know.
what I was gonna say is, have you read Simple Abundance by Sarah Ban Breitnick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Years ago I
Anyways,
did.
the
Yeah.
daily journal, she calls them creative excursions because it's something you do by yourself that is fun and enjoyable, but also sparks creativity. And one of the things I was going to do, but then I got the flu, was take myself to our Wiregrass Museum of Art, our local art museum's Art in Bloom show. It's only like a 2 or 3 day event. And local florists do artsy arrangements. And then they have the gallery is open with art that is all botanical related. And I was so looking forward to doing it, but I
A
had
lot
the
of
flu.
things got ruined by your stupid flu. Oh, well. Well, so, we'd love to hear from you.
Mhm.
Send us an email at the sentimental twist podcast at gmail.com or send us a DM over on our Instagram page and let us know how are you going to take some of the ideas we've given you to put more whimsy in your life?
Yes, I love it.
Because we're not promised tomorrow, folks.
Nope.
So you might as well make the best of what you've got. All right,
Mhm.
we're going to move on now to Blessed I Had to Share It, where we share things that we are loving right now. Miss Brittany, you're on
Yes.
deck.
Yes, and so this time I'm not actually going to share a thing. I'm going to share some people because blessed we had to share it. It's not just about sharing items we've come across we think y'all like. It's sharing about fun news and fun events that we're participating in, but also things we're reading, watching, listening to. And so I'm going to share a few creators on Instagram that have been inspiring me
Woo!
lately.
Okay, get
So
out
I've
your
got
phones, everybody.
your phones.
Okay, open your Instagram app.
So I have three, and I actually mentioned one. I think when did we talk about tomato basil soup? This episode or
No,
last
it was the
episode?
last episode.
It all runs
And tell
together,
me who that
folks.
is again, Miss
That's
this and that.
Robin. Robin missed this and that, and she shares a little bit of this and that. Obviously, that's what her name is. But home, hosting, recipes, etc. She loves small details and likes to say that they are worth the effort. When you
All right, you're going to need to find her on Instagram because when I put in Miss this and
MS,
that, is it
MS, mhm,
MS? Okay, see, I
yes,
was doing Miss this.
miss this N, the letter N.
Got her.
Got
Okay.
her.
Yeah, there we go.
Home and hosting habits that are worth the effort.
Okay.
So I love that because we talk a lot about the little details and we talk a lot about that. And her niche, if you will, very much coincides with the sentimental twist. And then our beloved Janet. I don't know if you're not following Janet already. You need to because she used to be the Simple Vintage Life. I think it was what it was. But she recently has become at the midlife joyride. And I realized not too long ago that I am midlife. And if I live to 82, which is double what I am now, I think I'll be happy. And so I am leaning into her words of encouragement and wisdom as the midlife journey is beginning for me. And so there's two. And I have a third one, and it's Elise at Adorn Your Decor. And she just shares classic home styling tips and dives into antiques and their history. And I really love her very elevated classic style. So I think y'all would like it too.
Okay, so those are three new. Well, I've already was following Janet, but
Mhm.
I'm now going to follow those ladies. So that's great. I love supporting content creators, and that was really great, Brittany.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just
so
thought it'd be fun to
yeah,
share some that are inspiring me lately. So,
so mine is these gorgeous pots of hydrangeas.
oh my goodness. Are those faux?
They're faux.
You cannot tell.
Found these on Amazon. I don't really like to support Amazon because I think that it's,
Sometimes it's just a.
yeah, but sometimes, you just gotta love it. And so we'll put the link to this in the show notes. But
Mhm.
what I love about it is it comes in this pot, so it looks like it just came from the nursery. They
That is
are faux, but I tell you what, and it's a set of 2. Now
wow.
it's a little pricey, I
Mm,
think. I can't remember how much it was,
okay.
but it's a set of 2 that are already in a pot. And I
Yes.
think what they're really designed to be is for you to set them down in your pots on your front porch.
Okay.
So it looks like you have beautiful
Beautiful,
hydrangeas
fresh
growing
hydrangeas.
on your
Mhm.
front porch. I probably will not keep them on my porch. What I'm going to do is put them in baskets on like my dining table
Okay.
or maybe on my back patio when I'm hosting a party
Mhm.
and then bring him inside because I don't want him to get dusty. But it comes with a set of 2. And let me see if I can find out. It took a little bit of time for them to come. I
Okay.
want to say about 2 or 3 weeks. And I
Yeah,
don't really
sometimes
know.
that's worth it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to put in hydrangeas. So they come in blue also,
Oh,
which look pretty, but the white to me look really real. And it's $129 for a set of 2. So it is an investment.
legit.
But if you keep them covered when you store
Mhm.
them in your attic or wherever,
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, they look so real. I've had several people stop by the house and they're sitting in my entryway in a blue and white chinoiserie foot bath.
Uh-huh.
They're like, "Oh my gosh, those are so pretty," and they're like they'll touch them and they're like,
Uh-huh.
"Wait, these aren't real."
Yeah.
So to me, I would rather invest in something that is gonna be long lasting, looks real, because if you think about the fact that we buy these hydrangeas at the store when they're real,
Mhm. And
they're
they're florist hydrangeas, they're not necessarily plant in the ground hydrangeas, so
no, and they won't last. And
mhm.
so I'd rather spend that money on investing on a faux,
Mhm.
long lasting keepsake. But to
Mhm.
me, they're just beautiful. I mean, they're just gorgeous. So
My mums are faux, and they're in big pots like that, and I just stick them down into my so for the fall because I cannot keep a mum to alive to save my
well, then you don't
life.
have to worry about watering it. You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it wilting and dying, and then you just spent, $30 on a hydrangea plant that unless you're gonna plant it in your garden, in fact, just this morning I took Hazel out and I looked over and my little hydrangea is budding for spring.
Wow.
So excited she came back and she's blue. So,
Yay. That's fun.
okay.
Those are good.
So, yeah. So we're going to move on to a new segment that one of our readers inspired us. Mary said,
Mhm.
I want to know what's in your book stack and what are y'all listening to? So we're calling this segment our literary lowdown. Our quick check in on what we're reading and listening to right now, the books on our nightstands, and the podcasts in our earbuds that are inspiring this season. So,
Yes.
Brittany, what are yours?
So I love a good podcast, and they're reserved for chores and when I have things I need to get done around the house. So that is when I listen to podcasts. I rarely listen to them in the car, but sometimes I do if I'm traveling. I usually do audiobooks in the car, if not music. But mostly I listen to true crime
Okay.
and or productivity, which is.
What's your favorite true crime?
Well, I've always been I it's called True Sunlight now, but it was originally the Murdoch Murders
Oh,
podcast in South
yeah.
Carolina. And I just
Here.
kept listening because they keep covering kind of crime and corruption is what they call it. So they take on different cases that they sort of analyze and investigate. And so that's really neat. And it's not
Really good.
like some true crime podcasts, since I live alone, could make me feel a little bit anxious. It's one
Mhm.
of those that they have the stories continuing. They're almost kind of reporting it in real time as things are happening. It's not like going back and telling a story about how this girl went missing for 3 years, all those things. So, True Sunlight, and they have a companion podcast called Cup of Justice, so I listen to those a
Cup
lot.
of Justice. That
Yeah.
sounds so
The
good.
the phrase came from, one of the co-hosts on that is one of the attorneys that's been involved in the Murdoch murder stuff, and he said that everyone should be drinking from the same cup of justice at one point because, they're talking about how good old boys in South Carolina usually get away with a lot more than certain other people in the population, and they should think everybody should drink from the same cup of justice, and so that's how it got its name. So,
That
those are
sounds
my favorite
really
true crime.
good.
Yeah. And then like I said, productivity is, I like to listen to productivity podcasts and goal setting things. And my favorite one is Focus on This, which is the companion podcast to my planner that I use. And then there's one called The Double Win that I listen to with Michael Hyatt and Megan Hyatt Miller. Those are my productivity ones.
So the focus on this is your energy audit, why your days feel harder than they should. That's
Yeah.
one of the episodes.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
well, I'm going to give them a follow.
but then for like niche related, like sentimental twist related podcasts, I love Grandma Silver. Have you ever listened to Grandma Silver? That's a good one. Um,
This is a podcast?
mhm, mhm,
Okay.
yes. And then I was recently on The Art of Home. It's a homemaking podcast, and she did a portrait of a homemaker as one of her series, and she had me on as a single homemaker, which was really fun to be
Oh,
able
I love that.
to share my perspective as a single person making a home. And of course, our beloved Kate, her
Yes.
Button Up Society podcast is fun to listen to. They just are like two girlfriends chatting about all the things they love, and that's really fun. Fortunately, in this season for me right now, it's not a read a book for pleasure kind of season. There's just not enough time for that. So I do go back to all of my favorite inspirational books. Obviously, all things Alexandra Stoddard, and then design books or like coffee table books. I have them out and reference them and look through them all the time as I'm trying to putter around the house. And some of my favorites are Mary Carol Garrity's design books. They're
Oh,
more
my
like
sister has
styling
a lot
books.
of those
Yeah.
books.
And she's the owner of Nell Hills, which I think is like Kansas
Yes.
City area.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But her little styling books are small, sort of smaller coffee table books. You can get them at thrift books. They're on Amazon, but they are really inspirational for styling. And I always reference those. And then, of course, Bunny Williams, she's my fave, and then James Farmer books. So I'm not really right now reading. I don't have a book stack of what I'm reading right now
Yeah.
because it's just not the season for that. But if I have a knee replacement in the near future, which might happen,
You're going
it
to
will
need a
be the
stack of
season
books.
for reading again. So, okay, what about you? What are you listening to and reading right now?
So what I'm reading are these 3 Dorothy Draper. Dorothy
Mm.
Draper was a famous decorator and designer back in the
Mhm.
30s and 40s. And there's a whole series of books. How to Be Your Own Decorator. Decorating is Fun by
Cute.
Dorothy Draper. And I'm really looking forward to the kitsch of this.
Mm.
Kind of like this is the anniversary, this 85th anniversary of this book, 1934 to 2024,
Wow.
because obviously it was written originally in 1939.
That's amazing.
And you know how we haven't done it in a long time, and I need to, is when we would read those old vintage recipes, like
Yes,
the
we
stuffed
gotta do that again.
bologna, we would
Hilarious.
wheeze laugh because it was just so gross and fun. So I'm going to start reading this one.
Okay.
The other one is Entertaining is Fun. So I can't wait to see what
Cute.
she says about entertaining and how it relates to what we're doing today.
Mhm.
You know, if some of her messaging is similar to ours.
Yeah.
And this was written in 1941. And then the other one is The Story of Dorothy Draper. So this is
Oh,
by Joy Calloway. And it is about her life and how Dorothy Draper, a beautifully written historical romance novel to enjoy. Joy Calloway has impeccably researched the life of Dorothy Draper from her days as a Greenbrier debutante to her return as the hotel's decorator. 5 stars.
how fun.
So,
It's my
yeah.
dream to go to the Greenbrier someday.
So that's what I'm reading all about Dorothy Draper.
I love it.
My favorite podcasts of late are, and I've added all of yours, is I love Awesome Etiquette. We talked about that
Yep.
in the
Mhm.
previous episode. That is through the Emily Post
Yes,
Institute.
Institute.
And it's
Yeah.
Emily Post's granddaughter, I think, and her cousin. And they just basically talk about different things. Like one of the episodes was really funny. It was, what is the etiquette about if you go to a potluck of stealing someone else's recipe and then bringing it to the next potluck? Like your pork nachos, that's your claim to fame.
It's not my claim to fame.
Well, let's say it is. And I
Okay.
steal that recipe and then I bring it as my recipe at the next party. And they said that's not appropriate.
I mean, you could bring it as, but you have to credit the person, right?
Yeah, but
Or can you not bring someone else's recipe at all?
I don't think
Surely you
they thought
can.
that was a good idea.
Really?
Yeah, that the other person really needed to take the
Well, what if it wasn't like for let's use my pork nachos as example, and you go and take it somewhere. We don't live in the same town, so it's not like I would ever bring it to that
Yeah,
occasion.
but I think what
Mm.
they're saying is it's not appropriate to bring it to the same group if somebody
Okay.
else's recipe was shared with everyone and then you're copying it and bringing
Mhm.
it. So,
Yeah, okay.
but it just goes on with like giving away gifts, what's the
Mm.
etiquette on if you were given something and you just
Re-gift.
really don't like it and so anyway, I love that one. And then there's another fun one called the rewatchables.
Huh,
And it is a podcast where it's a film podcast where it's a roundtable of movie lovers and they take movies and talk about them.
neat.
Yeah, talk about how they were made, what the concepts were. Good hang with Amy Poehler.
Oh, yeah, I love Amy Poehler.
I
She's one of my
mean, the one I listened to recently was with Carol Burnett. It was so funny. It made me want to go back and watch old Carol Burnett
Mhm.
episodes. That's a good one. It's basically just 2 girlfriends talking. I love Dear Alice, which is an interior design show,
Yes.
and, then I love Everything Happens with Kate Bowler. Kate
Mhm.
Bowler is a, professor at Duke University, and she's also, suffered, stage 4 colon cancer, and that she ended up coming out of it okay, but
Oh.
she talks about just, life and theology. I think those are probably the ones I used to love. I haven't listened to this one in a while, but this is a good one for walking. If you ever
Mm.
watched The Middle,
Oh, yeah.
which was that series that was on, I think, for 7 or 8 years
Mhm.
on ABC, and it had Sue Heck on it.
Mhm.
It's her and Brad, which played her boyfriend at first, and then they ended up just being friends. It's them talking about the show,
Oh, that's fun.
and it's really really cute. So, okay, Mary, thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, that was fun.
On the literary lowdown, we'll do that every once in a while, let you know what new things we're reading.
Updates. Mhm.
And it's time to close the show.
With a toast to sentiment.
And it's my turn this week to give the
Yes.
toast to sentiment. This
Yes.
is where we share a sentimental quote or story or poem, and we end with a toast to sentiment. So mine is about waiting to be with people until everything is perfect. Here's a toast to the host who's been waiting for the right moment. The finished room, the flawless menu, the day when everything finally feels ready. May you remember that connection has never required perfection. The
Hmm.
people you gather won't notice the crooked pillow or the recipe you improvise. They'll remember how you made them feel welcomed, seen, and cared for.
Mhm.
So let this be your gentle nudge to open the door anyway. Set the table as it is, cook what you know, light the candle and invite them in because the magic of hosting isn't born from perfect conditions. It's created the moment you decide you are already enough.
Mhm.
Here's to gathering now, not someday.
Yes. Don't wait for someday, folks.
No,
Someday may never come.
someday may never come. So here's our toast to Brittany, to our
Toast.
friendship. And
Yes.
one of the things that, let me take a drink.
Mm.
One of the things that people said when they filled out our survey was that how this podcast made them feel seen
Mm.
and heard and validated and
Yes.
loved and like they were just listening to another friend. And so that's what hosting is that
Mhm.
your opportunity to get your cup filled,
Yeah.
but you're also filling someone else's cup. And we
Yeah.
never know what's going on in someone else's life.
Yeah. And to hospitality, like you're saying, don't wait to do for perfection because really hospitality is bringing people into your life, just into your life, into your care to tend to them. It's not about a show. We talk about this a lot. It's not a performance. Of course, things are beautiful and we make them as enjoyable and as beautiful as we can because it's something we enjoy doing. But the heart of hospitality is just caring for someone and showing them they can be at home with you in whatever season they're in. And
You
so
know, because you have
just
to remember they're coming to your house to escape what they have going on in their
right.
homes, even if it's just for a couple of hours.
Mhm.
So people are not coming to check out your baseboards.
Mhm.
or your furniture that
Mhm.
has, my furniture is covered in cat fur and is shredded on one corner
Mhm.
from cat claws. Do I care? Well, yeah, I kinda care that I spent the money
Mhm.
on the couch and now it's, needs to be recovered someday, but, that's my life. I'm a cat person. I love cats. And when you live with cats, Mr. Twist always says you can either have cats or you can have nice things, but you can't have both.
That's funny.
So now all our furniture is covered and it looks like the Munsters.
Mm,
But I don't care.
it's all
So,
right.
all right. So that's all for today's episode of the Sentimental Twist. Please give us a follow on
Really?
our Instagrams. Brittany Shepherd, the Sentimental Decorator. Melissa on Home with a Twist. Follow the Sentimental Twist podcast on Instagram. Leave a review. Post a comment. Share it with a friend who needs who loves meaningful spaces and wants to just feel loved and cared for just
Mhm.
an hour every week when we release
Yeah,
our new podcast. And give us feedback on our survey. You can find that in the link in bio in our Sentimental Twist podcast on Instagram. We've already had some great responses that we'll share in upcoming episodes. And send us an email at the
yeah,
Sentimental Twist podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to hear your
for
hospitality
sure.
stories, a good recipe, whatever questions you want us to address.
Ooh, send us how you're gonna hit the rewind button.
I love that.
Yeah.
We want to hear your whimsy stories.
Yes. Love that.
So thank you for joining us on the Sentimental Twist.
Where we believe every space tells a story.
And every story deserves a place at the table. Until next time.
Keep things cozy, collected, and a little bit sentimental.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.